Hey guys, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I'm feeling pretty fine actually. So, Magic the Gathering Arena just put out a new set a couple of days ago, and I've had a little bit of a play around with it. Today, we're going to look at a deck that I've been playing quite a bit of just because it's kind of fun with some of the new cards that came out. It's certainly not a new type of deck that we wouldn't have seen before. If you look over here on the side, you'll see probably what's looking pretty familiar, and we'll go over what's in there, but also some of the new things that kind of the new set added that adds some new twists and combos and things you can use. So the point of the deck is discard, and usually when you play against a discard deck, at least in the past, it was a lot of Psychic Corrosion, Thought Collapse. There's a couple of other things in here. Where is it? No, it's not Radical Idea. Drowned Secrets, that's the other one. You'll see these are rares from previous sets. The new, excuse me for the sniffling, by the way, just allergies. So the new concept here that we've added is you can now actually win the game by being discarded, having your deck burned yourself. And it's interesting how that happens. It's Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. He's a new rare from the new set. If you look at his ability, you will see the passive. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. So depending on what and who you're playing against, you can essentially either deck your opponent or deck yourself and win the game. And then Jace also adds kind of an extra layer of security if somebody is trying to deck you. So the point of the deck is kind of twofold. One, you're going to use these Psychic Corrosions and draw cards to force your opponent to discard cards. The Drowned Secrets, anytime you play a blue spell, they have to discard cards. We've got some Wall of Lost Thoughts. These are kind of twofold. They're a good way to get people to discard discard off the top of their deck, but they also offer some protection. And we're both protecting ourselves, and we have some very, very fun Planeswalkers that are part of the new set. So this is one of my all-time favorites that I've played with yet. I haven't gotten into it much, but Ashiok, I guess is her name, Dream Renderer. So people can't search the library, which is fine. You don't really see that happening all that much. At least I haven't run into that. It's a lot more draw in these past sets, so that's not so good. But her -1 ability is really where you see the shine. So she takes 4 cards off of her library and puts them in the graveyard, and then exiles the entire graveyard. So every turn you can essentially have them burn 4 cards and then they go away. So this is really good for stuff, decks that run things like Radical Idea, Chemist's Insight, where they're drawing cards but then they can jumpstart it. It just completely obliterates that jumpstart. So it's a really, really good way to get them to burn cards that they can't then play otherwise. So you'll remember decks like the red burn decks where they draw that card that makes you either take damage or they get to draw cards. That's a really good one that you can get rid of. You can get rid of things like, again, the red burn card where they can play it and then return it from the graveyard to their hand. This is really good against those graveyard heavy decks, the Golgari types of decks where they have abilities that allow them to put +1/+1 counters for things in their graveyard, and it's a lot of fun to burn through. So that's the shape that this deck takes. It's a lot of cheap things you'll see. You want to get a lot of spells going. And then this is just my own personal, addition. I really liked this card and the way that it looks and kind of the way that it plays. And you'll see we have spells to draw cards and to get them, to counter them. And so God Eternal Kefnet is probably one of the best cards in this set. I don't know if it's great in this particular deck, but if you're playing a spell heavy deck, he is absolutely fantastic. So flying, you may reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw it. Whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery card this way, copy that card and you may cast the copy for 2 less. When he dies, you put him into exile and then return it 3rd from the top. So he cannot kill him. He keeps coming back. You can only delay the inevitable. He's not cheap, but when you're running a lot of cheaper cards, you have a little bit more mana left over to play with. So he's good to get out. He's flying 4/5 for 4. plus this ability makes him good on defense, good on offense, good, you know, just auxiliary function. And then if you were to draw something like Radical Idea, you can play it practically for free. Drown Secrets, all of these things you can have a lot out, and you can get things built up really, really quickly. So I just like him. I don't know if he's great in this deck. I haven't played with it enough to really know whether I want him in there or not. I haven't had a lot of opportunity to actually play him. So let me run you through how this deck works, and then we'll play a couple games. So everything blue is focused on getting your opponent to take cards off of their deck and discard them, or you doing it yourself. Everything else, you see the whites, are really more of the defensive spells. So we've got Subtle Wreckage to just board wipe. We've got Ixalan's Binding if there's something particularly nasty out there. Cleansing Novas, Artifacts, and Enchantments. You'll see I'm only running one of those. It's a little expensive. You know, that 5 mana essentially burns a turn to clear the board of all creatures and artifacts. I tend to use it more for artifacts and enchantments than creatures, especially because I have Subtle Wreckage. And I don't think a lot of players, unless they're at like the really high levels, kind of know to pay attention for Subtle Wreckage. So they tend to go all in, and you just kind of can get rid of them. And then on top of that, if they take the chance, you know, if they want to go ahead and put land cards out, that just takes more out of their deck, which means you have to get rid of less to win the game. So Subtle Wreckage has a really good play in this deck. So the other Planeswalkers that we added in, and this is just more of flavor for me, Narset, Parter of Veils. So each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn. Drawing is really big in the past couple of sets. You see that with these burn decks. You see that with those spell heavy decks. Those burn, the what do you call it? The red burn decks versus the deck burn decks. You see a lot of this. So limiting their draw to one every turn is really, really good. On top of that, you get essentially 2 times that you can look at the top 4 cards and reveal a spell from that and put it in your hand. So for a deck like we're running, you know, that's the Radical Idea, Drown Secrets, Revitalize, Thought Collapse, Psychic Corrosion, Absorb, Ixalan's Binding, Subtle Wreckage. Like there's a lot there that we can get. So she's really good. I don't put a lot. I've only got 1 in there because she's really more utility than she is critical to this deck. I'd rather have something like the Wall of Lost Thoughts or Psychic Corrosion or a Thought Collapse, something else that kind of accomplishes my goal. But she's good on the defense and if you really need to start drawing into some of those spells. So there's the deck. If you're interested in it, it's not a particularly expensive deck. You know, if you've been playing Magic for a little while, you should have some of these Drown Secrets and some of the other expensive ones. Psychic Corrosion is only an uncommon, so it's really easy to get a hold of. Thought Collapse is not even an uncommon, it's a common. You've got Jace is a new rare, and he's new. He might be hard to get a hold of. You should probably have a Cleansing Nova if you've been playing for a while. Patient Rebuilding is totally option. If you want it, you can have it. It's expensive, so it's not really something you want to be drawing in the beginning of the game, but it's good to have later on if you really need to start burning through those cards and get some card draw yourself. Finale of Revolution, I haven't had the opportunity to use yet. This one is, again, card draw, so if you've got a couple of those Psychic Corrosions out, this causes them to discard quite a bit, and then it's potential to essentially reset your deck from your graveyard. But that's only if you have a ton of mana out, which you probably never will. So haven't seen this card really come into play all that much. If you're getting to the point where you have 12 lands on the field and either 1, they're not decked out, or 2, you're not dead, there's something else wrong. So I don't know if I'll run this much longer. I just like the ability to draw cards if I need cards. It'll never get to 10. And that's where the value comes out of that. So there's the deck. We're going to go ahead and play a couple of rounds with it. It's not going to be ranked, it'll just be play. So you'll probably see some odd things, people running different kinds of decks. Again, the set has only been out for a couple days now. I don't know everything about it. I haven't seen all of the different types of forms and decks, so we'll see what comes up. All right, so here's our hand. This is looking pretty darn good. We've got the wall, we've got the Drowned Secrets, we've got her. Yeah. This is a keep. We've got enough to play right away that kind of shelters us, protects, you know, the wall will allow us to just play this for a couple turns until he's built up enough to get past the wall. That drowns secrets. Anytime we start playing blue, it's going to start discarding from him. So essentially on turn 3, we'll get 6 cards off the top of his deck. Right, because we go here, we play Drown Secrets. We've got fucking red, white again. So we really need to burn through this. So there's the first 6. Oh, thank God. 2 of them. Alright. Yep. All looking good to me. I think we're going to be hit here for a little bit of damage. Perfect. Time to get rid of that 10th District Legionnaire. It's not what I would have preferred. I much would rather get rid of something that keeps bringing those spells back. But I think we need to... Well, we got rid of 2 of them. He's probably got 1 in his hand. Knowing the way that this usually works. But it means he can't play anything else. So he can try to kill it. No. Alright. Couldn't get it killed. Can't play any more of them. So it takes the pressure off for a little while. It's that scrying that's just so nasty. Okay, so next turn, we're going to take 3. That's okay. Drop another 2 off the top, plus 2 when we draw the next turn. Oh, there's a Chandra. That was worth doing. I think that Dream Render is going to go out next. Or we'll save it for the Absorb. I think these are only... Yeah, for 3 mana to get a 3/4 Legendary Angel flying, plus it means you can bring shit back, is so stupid. But he clearly doesn't have one, or he would have played it. So I think we're waiting on the draw here. So hopefully, yeah. Okay. So hopefully we can take it off the top and kind of hold him at just the Boros Challenger. You know he's got a spell of some sort. They're good. Oh yes, got rid of that. Sweet. So this drops out. We get the... Who's going to make him discard out. We're going to get rid of all of these spells in here. So we get to get rid of the Reckless Rage, which would come back. We get to get rid of this Defiant Strike, which is a pain in our rear end. There's a Chandra, Dreadhorde Assistant. Oh, and I can't wait to see what else goes. Come on, make it good. Ooh, saw a Defiant Strike. I saw all kinds of stuff in there. A Ryle. Cool. So we're down to 31. So she'll probably eat this attack. Oh, he could only get it up to 3. You know, that's okay. I think that's the threat on the board for him. I think us at 12 life isn't hard. Otherwise it costs him, yeah, 4 cards a turn. So we'll still get 1 more out. Oh, unless he burns. Nah. So he's not that worried about it. Cool. And we got the Revitalize. Come on. Corrode away, my homie. There goes that scry. Alright. So it's not an ideal time to do it. I would have rather have liked to revitalize. Well, I guess I could have. I guess I didn't need to do it on his turn. Ah, that's unfortunate. I should have revitalized. Because it's not going to change my absorb strategy here. And then done that. Just move away. Did that get anything good? That got another Reckless Rage. Another Reckless Rage. Summit Spirit. Okay. Well, I'm alright with that. So we're definitely going to hold on to the Absorb, I think, for next turn. I think I'm going to go ahead and wait. Because we can revitalize on his turn, which means there's no point in doing it now. Other than the fact we would burn an additional 2 cards off of him. But we've got the Absorb, which we're kind of waiting for something which we know to be nasty to come out. We know he can hit us for 3 each turn. Oh, come on, you're not going to be like this. You ever played against those players that make you use all of their timeouts before they'll let you win? There's no guarantee even that we win. Other than the fact that he clearly doesn't have anything really that we need to be worried about all that much. Save ourselves the turn, the Revitalize, get us a card. And then we Radical Idea. That's fine. We can have an extra damage here. And he can draw, because that takes 1 out of his deck that we now have to burn. So he's got it. Oh, yes. I like that. That's gone. So he's only got 2 left. So if at the end... We'll have to see, because I think maybe at the end what we do is we Radical Idea. But I'm going to wait till the end because I want to make sure that there's not anything else coming after us that he's waiting for. See, he knows we've got the 3. So he's holding off playing something for 2. Okay. So it's an instant or a sorcery of some sort. Okay. Here's our defense. It's expensive though. So we've got the same turn now. Wow, man, we managed to get rid of a lot of nasty things. I think we stick to the plan, to be honest. We've got an Absorb for any nasty creature that comes down. Gives us some more life. We've got the Revitalize. Yeah, that's what I don't want coming out. Yeah, we can't have that. Yep, there he is. Gives up. So we got him down to 11. Didn't have to deck him all the way, but it's about that control. You really got to know what's coming, and and that red burn deck I think is going to be popular. So it's a hard play. You really have to hope to get some lucky discards like we did with those angels that are fucking stupid. But maybe we'll try to play that deck next. So there you have it. If you liked Magic the Gathering, make sure to like the video so I know to play more. You can subscribe as always. We've got lots of fun stuff on the channel. So thanks for watching.